Now we transition to our sharing time. We do this every Sunday where we get to share what is going on in our lives, whether that's prayer requests or praise reports, praising God for things, or maybe it's sharing of testimony. This week I talked to this person and this is how the conversation went. Last week I was so encouraged by the sharing of, hey, my friend doesn't know Jesus, but I've been talking to them about faith, and I've been praying with my friend. And so what is God doing in your life? As we live our lives, we see that God is constantly working. God is constantly moving. And so I want to challenge everybody to think about, what is God doing in your life? Somebody share with us. I was going to say, because I'm not Steve, nobody's going to share.
Good morning, everyone. Well, I did get a surgery date for my wrist, and it's Friday. So please pray for me, because you know how I get when it comes to surgery. But you know what? I'm taking faith over fear. And the Lord is going to be with me.
Amen.
I was waiting for somebody else. It's always me and Ruby. Sorry. We should all have something to say. That's my personal feeling, because God works in our lives every day. But I'm a big talker like Ruby, so we like to share. I thought about what Steve said the other day about, he came to find Christ at an older age or in his late teens or whatever. And, it's so true, because I pray all the time for all three of my boys. And God showed me a blessing this week. On Monday, I got a call at 4 a.m. from my middle son that owns a house, just my dad's old house, just down the street. And he said, Mom, can you and Dad get up and meet me at the house? The cops are at the house. So my heart kind of stopped, but I thought immediately to my oldest son, who lives with him. But I said, you know what, God? You've shown me so many different examples of your grace. So we drove over there. I know my husband was already, we drove there, and my son wasn't home. Somebody drove down the street at, I don't know how high he was driving his car, but he totaled my son's car and left it across the street, hit another guy's car. The young man got out of the car and walked away okay. So, God showed us that the gentleman fell asleep at the wheel is what the cops told us. But, my son wasn't home. He wasn't in the car. It wasn't my son that caused the accident. I thought of all the blessings that God's showing me, that life is changing. And it's because I pray, and I know these boys, I send them praise messages all the time. They read them. They don't come here to church yet, but I have faith. But, God just shows you every day that he's blessing your family. And I thought that was a big blessing for us. And he was showing us how no one got hurt and everything else. Material things can be replaced, so.
Somebody else. Nobody else. Everybody's quiet today. All right, well, we're going to get up. Oh, Betsy wants to share.
I just ask for prayer. I'm having a rough time with my back and with my right eye. It gets inflamed, and that one time it went away, but then it hasn't been that bad again, but it's got a little bit of chronic inflammation, so gotta go back to the doctor. And it's just everything's flaring up today, probably because my husband's speaking. Well, you know how that is. Satan attacks you when you. Anyway, it's not going to stop us or Eric or anybody. And then continue prayer for our friend Yvonne. I've been texting her a lot this week and invited her to come today, and she couldn't come, but she's going to listen to the streaming. So now she knows our church, how to stream our church. So anyway, yeah, Yvonne and her dad Bob, we're praying for their salvation. Right? Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know if any of you remember a couple of weeks ago, they had to shut our gas off because we had a gas leak because the house is old and the meter was built underneath the house. So we had that out done and the gas man came out and they put the meter outside and now we're not pioneers no more.
there you go. All right. Yes, I'm going to ask everybody to get up. I know Steve's not here. I'm still going to ask. And I'm going to challenge everybody because I know there's people who like to just sit in their seats, but there are people who are new. There are people who don't come very often. And so when we greet people, we're saying church is not only about me and me feeling comfortable, but church is about me welcoming whoever steps in these doors, right? That's the kind of church I want to be a part of, is that when we see someone we don't recognize, we welcome them, even if it's a little uncomfortable. So I want to challenge us. Find somebody you don't know or you don't talk to often, and go greet somebody and tell them hello.
I haven't seen you lately. We can cheat. You can see how many strikes he has. 12. That's not bad.